Have you ever imagined what would happen if one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world suddenly disappeared? Not during war, not during combat, but during a routine training flight. In September 2023, something unusual happened in the skies above the United States. A fifth-generation stealth fighter jet suddenly went missing. The aircraft was the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, one of the most advanced military machines ever created. Each jet costs around $100 million. It is designed to evade radar, dominate modern air combat, and operate with some of the most advanced technology ever placed inside a cockpit. But on that day, something went terribly wrong. The story began over the state of South Carolina. A U.S. Marine Corps pilot was flying an F-35B during a routine training mission. Everything seemed normal. The jet had taken off from Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort and was flying through nearby airspace. Training flights like this happen regularly. Pilots practice maneuvers. They test systems. They train for situations that might happen during real combat. But suddenly, something unexpected happened inside the aircraft. At some point during the flight, the pilot encountered a serious problem. Reports later suggested there may have been a malfunction in the jet. Inside the cockpit, warning lights may have started flashing. Alarms may have sounded. In high-performance fighter jets, pilots are trained to react within seconds. When something goes wrong at high speed and high altitude, hesitation can be dangerous. The pilot made a critical decision. He ejected. In less than a second, the aircraft's ejection system activated. Explosive charges blasted the cockpit canopy away. The ejection seat fired upward with incredible force. The pilot was launched high into the air. Moments later, a parachute opened above the South Carolina countryside. The pilot safely descended toward the ground. People living in the nearby area were shocked when they saw a military pilot falling from the sky. Emergency responders quickly arrived. The pilot was transported to a hospital for evaluation. Fortunately, he survived. But now, there was another problem. A very unusual problem. The aircraft was still in the air. Somewhere. When a pilot ejects from a fighter jet, the aircraft does not instantly stop flying. If the jet still has speed and altitude, it can continue moving forward. In some situations, autopilot systems may keep the aircraft stable for a period of time. And that appears to be exactly what happened. The F-35 kept flying, but there was no pilot inside the cockpit. Somewhere over South Carolina, a stealth fighter jet was flying completely on its own. Military officials immediately began trying to locate the aircraft. Normally, tracking an aircraft is not difficult. Radar systems monitor airspace constantly. Air traffic controllers observe aircraft movement on large radar screens. Military command centers can also track their aircraft through multiple systems. But the F-35 is not a normal aircraft. It is specifically designed to be difficult to detect. The aircraft uses stealth technology. Its shape, materials, and coatings reduce radar reflections. This allows the jet to avoid detection during combat missions. But now, that same technology created a strange situation. The missing jet was extremely difficult to track. Radar operators searched for signals. Air traffic control examined their screens. Military personnel tried to determine where the aircraft might be. But the exact location of the jet remained unclear. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. Soon, something unusual became clear. No one knew where the aircraft was. One of the most advanced fighter jets ever built had simply disappeared from tracking systems. For hours, the location of the aircraft remained unknown. The U.S. military began organizing a large search effort. Helicopters were launched. Aircraft scanned the skies. Ground teams prepared to investigate possible crash locations. The search area began expanding across South Carolina. Authorities looked at forests, rural roads, farmland, any location where a crashing aircraft might have landed. Then something very unusual happened. The military made a public request. Officials asked local residents for help. Yes, civilians were asked to report any information that might help locate the missing fighter jet. The request quickly spread across the internet. News channels began reporting the story. People around the world were surprised. How could a stealth fighter jet worth $100 million simply disappear? Social media exploded with reactions. Some people joked about the situation. Others were genuinely confused. Memes about the missing fighter jet began spreading online. Some people even joked that they should check their backyard. But behind the humor, the search operation continued. Military teams continued scanning large areas of South Carolina. Every possible clue was examined. Then a report came in from a local resident. Someone living in the region said they had heard a loud sound earlier that day. It sounded like a massive crash somewhere in the distance. Investigators quickly focused on that area. Search teams moved toward the suspected location. Helicopters began scanning forests from above. Ground teams entered remote wooded terrain. Eventually, investigators made an important discovery. Deep inside a forested area of Williamsburg County, South Carolina, they found it. The wreckage of the missing F-35 fighter jet. Pieces of the aircraft were scattered across the landscape. The mystery was finally solved. The jet had continued flying for some time after the pilot ejected. Eventually, without a pilot controlling it, the aircraft lost stability. It descended, and it crashed into the forest. Fortunately, the crash happened in a remote area. No civilians were injured. But the incident created one of the strangest aviation mysteries in recent years. For several hours, one of the most advanced fighter jets ever created had been flying through the sky, without a pilot. And during that time, no one on the ground knew exactly where it was. The same stealth technology that makes the F-35 powerful in combat also made it difficult to locate when something went wrong. For a brief moment in modern history, a $100 million stealth fighter jet had simply vanished. And somewhere over South Carolina, an empty aircraft had been flying silently through the sky. A reminder that even the most advanced machines on Earth can still create mysteries no one expects.